Hello everyone, my name is Kitetsu and welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to make another quick video today, and to be honest I actually feel like this has turned out to be a pretty good week. 3 videos, who would have thought? But basically we've just had an article drop on the Warhammer community which says top 5 things to look forward to in 2019. So I thought whilst we're here we might as well really quickly skip down to Age of Sigmar and talk about that. And then I really quickly wanted to talk about some supposed prices that have dropped for the Gloomspite Gitz. And yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. First of all, let's look at this. Obviously number 1 is of course the Gloomspite Gitz. That's the main thing that everyone's excited about for Age of Sigmar right now. Number 2 is some Warhammer Underworlds war bands, and obviously we've seen these before, but they do look pretty cool. Obviously now we've seen that Molog is a Dankhold Troggoth, and there are going to be other Dankhold Troggoths which I personally think look better, but they will probably cost more, so I guess you've got to weigh that up. The Dark Oath warband as well, like, doesn't that just fill you with hope for a Dark Oath faction? Very cool models there. I'm going to skip over number 3 and talk about that in a minute. We're going to have some more endless spells, and it sounds like there's almost going to be an update to that core set of endless spells that came to Age of Sigmar. I think it was last year. Was it called Malign Sorcery? I can't really remember. But basically there's going to be some powerful and strange new options available to any faction. So that's pretty cool. And the final thing it mentions is that the Soul Wars are going to continue. And yeah, I've been keen to keep following this storyline as it evolves. So hopefully 2019 is going to basically kick that into the next chapter and sort of ramp things up a bit and maybe, you know, have some slightly more exciting events occurring, but I guess we'll wait and see. Now, number 3, I've been predicting this for ages and it's not really a surprise to anyone, but it's certainly the most exciting thing on the list to me. It confirms here that there are going to be new Slaanesh models, and I assume a full battle tome, basically the works. So here's the definitive proof of that. It basically says that the Wrath and Rapture heralds even more new models for the host. So basically these are the precursors and the goodness is still to come. Obviously, with how busy I've been recently, I didn't get to talk about Wrath and Rapture nearly as much as, in fact, I didn't get to talk about it at all, but I was very excited. I loved the Fiend models. I think they look great. Definitely a big upgrade over the last ones. And the Harpist looked great as well. I haven't picked them up yet, but obviously it's quite an expensive box, so I'm sure it won't be long before they become available separately. But what I really wanted to talk about in this video, and quite briefly, is an article I saw on Spiky Bits earlier that said that apparently multiple retailers have already confirmed the prices for the first wave of the Gloomspite Gitz release. And I'm not sure who these multiple retailers are because I'm not from America, so maybe someone who is from America can verify this down below in the comments. I wouldn't even know where to begin looking for Warhammer Online in America. But basically they've gone through each of these different units and they have listed the prices that they are all going to cost. So yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about, and I believe on Bell of Lost Souls they're reporting more or less the exact same thing. Yeah, here's the Bell of Lost Souls article. In fact, it's so remarkably similar, even down to the red font next to the prices, that it almost feels like it's copy and pasted across. But yeah, basically, obviously, I'm from the UK, and I wanted to work out roughly what these prices are going to be in England. Games Workshop have a very bizarre exchange rate system. In fact, they don't seem to follow an exchange rate system at all, because a kit that costs $15 in America would be roughly £12 in England, and if you look at a kit that's £10 in England, it should cost less than $13 in America. But that is never the case, and I know it's frustrating for people abroad because they nearly always have to pay more. And you know, I always bring this up, don't even get me started on Australia, their prices are obscene. But if Games Workshop aren't using exchange rates to directly translate these prices across, I thought, hey, I've got a genius idea. Why don't I go on the American website, look up something that's $15 and then see how much that exact same kit is in England. And basically I've done that for every single price bracket that is in that article. And I thought, hey, what can go wrong? And in fact, there was even some form of logic to these prices, because if you look at the $35 Vanguard Raptors, from there onwards, every $5 increase in price results in £2.50 extra price in the UK. So I thought, cool, I'm onto something here. But then I came across something that completely ruined my master plan. And that was the fact that we've got an endless spell that's $35 and the Vanguard Raptors are $35, but they both have two completely different prices in the UK. And admittedly, it's only a very small difference in price, it's £2.50, but it's totally illogical and baffling. But either way, just to summarise the prices that we have been given on Bell of Lost Souls and Spiky Bits, those are the prices obviously in red and in dollars. And then my approximation from the kits that I looked at earlier are written in blue. So obviously those British prices could be wrong, but I don't imagine they're too far off. £10 per War Scroll card seems about right. You would expect, based on the Fungoid Cave Shaman and the independent characters that have come in the past, that Scragrot would cost around £20. £22.50 seems quite steep to me, but it is what it is. The endless spells, as we saw on this slide here, they are nearly always £20 in England, so I would expect them to be £20 too. But this is the first set where we've had 4 endless spells, so you don't really know. The dice, they are actually quite expensive, and I looked up some dice on the American website, and of the Age of Sigmar ones still available, I think there was only Beasts of Chaos and some Stormcast, and they were $20. Now, obviously, I know these dice are more fancy, and there's a significant amount of detail that's on these ones. Whether you like that or not, that's down to you. But £18 for a set of dice, to me, that is, again, quite expensive. Personally, I'm not going to be picking those dice up for £18. If you want to, you know, good for you. I'm not here to tell you how you should spend your money. Next, we've got the scenery, which, you know, £35. I thought, well, the Herd Stone from the Beasts of Chaos is about £17.50, and I think the Feculent Gnarlmaul, or whatever it's called, the tree from the Nurgle range, that's £17.50 as well. So at first I thought, this can't be right, you know, that price is way off. But then I think we had the Gloomtide Shipwreck or whatever it was from the Ideneth, that was £25. So, you know, depending on how big this thing is, and I can imagine it actually being quite a centerpiece to the army, £35 is not unreasonable. Personally, I actually love that piece of scenery, so I'm prepared to spend that amount of money on it. And, you know, depending on what the rules are in the Battle Tome, it might be that we can only have one of them in the army anyway, in which case, you know, it's not too bad to drop that price. I guess the main conversational point is really these 3 units here, and I don't really know what to make of the prices there. I don't want to do a massive discussion of what I think about them, because obviously we're all going to have our own thoughts, and value is relative. I've talked about this many times on this channel. But I guess what I couldn't really understand was why £25 for 5 of these, but £5 more for 5 of these, and then suddenly £2.50 less to have 12 of these. I was thinking, well, you know, these are the most expensive. Is it because they have a rider on top, so Games Workshop are trying to count these as 2 models each? You know, it's a strange way of looking at things, especially when these fanatics in the game, you know, their rules are generally fantastic, and I assume they will be in the new book. Really, I have no idea why all 3 of these units are differing in price, and I would have been happier if they were all more towards the £20 to £25 range. Again, I'm not really that familiar with dollars, but $10 for each of these sounds quite steep. And in principle, you know, Grots are supposed to be a bit of a horde army, so it would end up becoming incredibly expensive to build up a massive army of Squig hoppers. In fact, it would basically be like Caradron Overlords all over again. So looking at these prices for Wave 1, either you're going to be sitting here thinking, yeah, whatever, I'll spend whatever on Warhammer because I absolutely love it. Maybe you'll be sitting here thinking they're exactly the prices I would have expected. You know, they weren't too shocking for me, but maybe a little bit on the high end. Or maybe you'll be in the camp of thinking, I'm going to wait a year until the Start Collecting set will inevitably come out, and that's when I'm going to jump on board. You know, we haven't even got a Start Collecting set, I believe, for the Mortal Nurgle faction. or Ideneth Deepkin for that matter. So, you know, these things will come in time. It's impossible for them to bring out a start collecting set now because obviously we've only just had all these brand new miniatures. For Beasts of Chaos, it was much easier because all of those models were available and they just had to bundle them in one box. Again, I'm looking at the set of Squig Herd and thinking there's 12 of them, and I noticed with the sneaky Snufflers there were 6. So is this going to be one unit of 12, or is it going to be some unusual situation where we actually have 2 units of 6 in the box? I'm not really sure. But yeah, basically that is my video for now. Let me know down below what you think of the prices, and yeah, let me know if you're going to be picking up these Gloomspite Gitz. Again, I think they are some of the best models I have ever seen from Games Workshop, and I'm really excited about where they're going to take the lore. I've just put up Zarbag's Gitz in front of you because if you are absolutely desperate to get your hands on some brand new Gloomspite Gitz models, then basically you could just pick up this now, which is what I did. I went on a massive quest, shall we say, around 3 different towns, trying to find local Games Workshop stores that had these figures. It basically seems like absolutely everyone else had the same idea as I did, because everyone had got wind of the fact that Grots were going to be updated and they'd all rushed out to buy these models. They're absolutely great models. They haven't been out that long and I've been having a lot of fun trying to paint them. But yeah, I mean, you get some Squigs in there, you get a, I believe he's a Madcap Shaman, you get a Squig Herder, you get some Archers, you get a Netter. It's basically a great little kit. It's easy to put together, and it's certainly been satisfying my itch to have some Grots. But yeah, basically that's my video for now. I hope you're all well, and Happy New Year to all of you, of course, because I am mad enough to be making videos on New Year's Eve. But anyway, that's it from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys hopefully really soon. I can't wait to make my review of the Battle Tome as soon as I've got it, and yeah, otherwise I will see you guys really soon.